Some land feels right the moment you step on it. But some land, without ever raising a red flag, quietly works against you. Not today, not tomorrow, but over time you notice you're more tired, your sleep is lighter. Your joy doesn't land the way it used to. You blame age or work or stress. But what if it's none of those things? What if the land beneath your home, the place you chose to start over to build something steady, is subtly pushing back? Most people choose land the way they choose a vacation spot. Is it sunny? Is it pretty? Is it affordable? But land isn't a weekend escape. It's the ground that will hold your body, your breath, your memories for years. And land that looks calm in July might flood in November. A breeze that feels good now could carry illness when winter comes. Stillness doesn't always mean peace. Choosing land isn't about fear, it's about alignment between your life and your landscape. And often, the clues are already there. A slope that drains energy, a shadow that never moves, a patch of grass that always dies. You just have to know what to look for. In this video, we'll uncover 6 land mistakes that can quietly erode your wealth, your health, and your peace of mind. We'll talk about what to feel for, not just what to look at. Because the most beautiful homes can still feel heavy, and the most expensive lots can still hold restless air. So before you sign the contract, before you dream up the porch swing and the rose bushes, pause, stand still, feel. The right land doesn't just hold your home, it holds you. Let's begin, not with what's visible, but with what the land is already whispering. Sign 1, a land that shines in the sun but sinks when the rains come. It looks like the perfect lot. Clear skies, green grass, a soft breeze brushing across your skin. Maybe there's even a distant view, a hint of trees swaying, birdsong echoing from somewhere safe. And for a moment, standing there, it feels right, like the kind of place where you could finally exhale. But that's the danger. Land is not defined by how it feels at noon on a sunny day. Most people choose land in a season of light, spring or summer. It makes sense. Easier to walk, easier to dream. But land reveals its truth in discomfort, in wet shoes and cold wind, in shadows that stretch too long, in silence that turns uneasy. Because what shines in July might sink in December, and what feels open and light today might trap water, mold, and heavy air when the sky turns. The first mistake is trusting the surface. Buying land in the dry season means you're seeing only the version it wants to show. The grass is green because it hasn't been tested. The ground feels firm because it hasn't held months of rain. The air smells fresh because the damp hasn't risen yet. So people buy. They imagine porches, gardens, and quiet mornings. Then fall comes, then winter. And with them come the surprises, standing water, leaking basements, a strange heaviness in the air. Rooms that feel darker, sleep that doesn't come as easy. Not because of the walls or the decor, but because the land never told you what it holds when the light fades. The second mistake is believing light equals good. Sunlight softens everything. It dresses flaws in gold, but good land isn't about how it looks, it's about how it holds. Do the trees stand tall or lean? Does the soil smell rich or sour? Is the breeze steady or still? These aren't poetic questions, they're practical, because real peace doesn't disappear with the season. If you only meet the land on its best day, you may never meet its truth. Visit after it rains. Stand there on a gray morning. Are there puddles that never leave? Does the wind cut through your coat? Do you feel unsettled even if nothing's wrong? Trust that. The body often senses imbalance long before the mind catches up. This isn't fear, it's awareness. You wouldn't hire someone based on a smile. You wouldn't marry after one good date. Why build your life on land you've only seen under perfect skies? Good land holds a quiet kind of strength. Even in the rain, it feels steady. Even in the cold, something in it stays warm. The birds still come, the trees still breathe, and you, strangely, you don't want to leave. That's how you know. The wrong land will ask you to fix it season after season. It will drain your time, your wallet, your rest. It will make you adapt, explain, tolerate. But the right land just holds you. Even on your worst days, it lets you feel rooted again. So if you're standing on a property and everything seems fine, pause. Ask yourself, have I seen this land in the rain? Have I heard its silence? Have I tested its patience? If not, wait. Wait until the clouds come, until the shadows stretch. That's when the land speaks. Sign 2, if the road is higher than your land, your energy is always falling. Some things in life you feel before you understand, like walking into a house and sensing the weight in the air, the kind of heaviness that clings to the walls. You look around and everything seems fine. The furniture is clean, the colors are soft, but something in your chest doesn't settle. You feel like you're stepping down, not into a home, but into a space that slowly drains you. And sometimes, that feeling starts outside before you even cross the front door. It starts with the land itself. When the road is higher than your property, your energy begins below the line. It means every car that passes, every gust of wind, every bit of water follows gravity into your space. On the surface, it seems harmless, but over time, the effects compound. Rainwater rushes in faster than it can drain, dust settles deeper, noise lingers longer, and inside something shifts. You feel like you're always picking yourself up. The day ends heavier than it began. This isn't about superstition, it's about flow of water, of air, of life. Streets aren't just pavement, they're currents. They move energy, intention, distraction. When your land sits below that current, you're not just physically lower, you're energetically vulnerable. It becomes harder to hold boundaries, to feel grounded, to rest deeply. The body might start aching more often. Bills seem to stretch further. Arguments linger longer. You wonder why you're tired even after a quiet weekend. Most people don't notice this when buying land. They're focused on square footage, sunlight, school zones. They don't think about standing at the edge of their lot and looking up at the road. But that upward glance matters, because every time you come home, you're walking into a slope, one that your body remembers, even if your mind forgets. It's a subtle descent, one that asks more of you over time. And let's be practical. Land that sits lower than the road often comes with water problems. Drainage issues, mold, damp basements, smells that don't leave. In some neighborhoods, this also means less privacy. Your living room becomes a display window for passers-by. There's no natural protection, no buffer, just exposure. And exposure, when constant, is exhausting. But there's something deeper, something we rarely name. A home should feel like rising, like stepping into your own space with intention. But when your floor is beneath street level, your arrival feels different. It's not upward, it's downward. And that matters more than we admit, because how you enter your home shapes how you settle into it. You start low, you stay low. This isn't about creating fear, it's about creating awareness. If you're looking at land where the road sits higher, ask, what adjustments will I need to make just to feel balanced? Will I need to raise the foundation? Build barriers, plant hedges for privacy, invest in drainage, and beyond the cost, what will it take from me emotionally to feel steady here? Good land gives more than it asks. It lifts you even subtly. When your home sits just slightly higher than the road, the feeling is different. You step up not just physically, but emotionally. You feel a sense of protection, privacy, strength. You breathe easier. It's a small shift, but it echoes everywhere. Even the act of walking up a few stairs into your home creates a feeling of rising, of returning to something safe and secure. When choosing land, we often overlook what seems like a minor detail. But in reality, the relationship between the road and the lot is everything, because roads carry energy, and energy, like water, follows slope. You don't want to spend years trying to hold on to what keeps slipping away. So stand at the edge. Look at the road. Ask yourself, is my future home above the flow or beneath it? If it's beneath, you're not just buying land, you're buying a constant uphill climb. And some days, even your joy might feel like it's sliding. Choose land that lets you rise, that holds your energy, not spills it. Because in a world already pulling at you from every direction, your home should be the one place where you don't feel the need to climb back up. Sign 3, filled land may look flat, but beneath it's unsettled. Some land wears its scars in silence. It looks peaceful, even inviting, leveled ground, soft grass, perhaps a new sidewalk poured in clean lines. You walk across it and it doesn't flinch. There's no sign of trouble, no cracks, no puddles, no obvious warning. But the danger isn't in what you see. It's in what was buried to make that land appear calm. because filled land rarely forgets where it came from. Maybe it was once a pond, a marsh, an old ravine, a forgotten pit, somewhere water collected, somewhere soil moved, and to make it buildable, someone came and poured in new earth, truckloads of soil, gravel, waste. They smoothed it, compacted it, laid it flat, and now on paper it looks like every other lot on the street. But underneath it's not. Because filled land takes time to settle, and sometimes it never really does. The biggest mistake people make is assuming flat equals stable. But in construction and in life, that's not always true. What looks still might be shifting. What looks finished might still be deciding who it is. And when you build a home on unsettled ground, you inherit its uncertainty. Cracks appear where there was once perfect alignment. Doors begin to stick. Floors tilt just slightly until one day it's obvious. And by then, it's no longer just about the foundation, it's about the feeling, the weight, the subtle instability that runs through the whole house. And it's not just about structure, it's about energy. Land remembers, and when you force it to change too fast, it holds that tension. It doesn't welcome roots, it resists rhythm. People who live on poorly filled land often describe it without knowing the cause. We never quite settled in. It always felt temporary. We tried everything, but the house just didn't feel right. Because just like a body, land needs time to breathe, to adjust, to realign after trauma. And filling land is a kind of trauma. It changes the history of a place in an afternoon. But it takes years, sometimes decades, for the energy underneath to catch up to the surface. Of course, not all filled land is bad. With enough time, care, and engineering, it can stabilize. But the question is, was that time given? Was that care taken? Or was it rushed just to sell? A lot that's only recently filled might look fresh, but listen closely. Check the soil. Does it feel loose, too soft? Are there signs of retaining walls holding back earth? Does water linger after rain, not because of poor drainage, but because the land doesn't yet know where to send it? And here's the deeper truth. People often choose filled land because it's cheaper. It looks like a deal. It gives you more square footage, a better view, a chance to get in early. But what you save up front, you often spend later, in repairs, in stress, in sleep. Because no matter how beautiful the design, no matter how modern the finishes, your home is only as safe as what it stands on. And when the ground beneath you isn't sure of itself, it's hard for you to be. If you're considering land that might be filled, don't just ask the agent. Ask the land. Walk it slowly. Stand still. Notice how your body feels. Do your feet feel held, or do they want to move on? Look at the plants. Do they grow in full, healthy patches, or are they sparse, inconsistent, struggling to root? Watch how the wind moves across the space. Does it dance or feel blocked? Because good land welcomes life. It holds water just enough. It lets light in but doesn't blind. It grounds you without dragging you down, and when it's been shaped too quickly without patience, it can't do any of those things, not yet. So be cautious with land that seems too ready. Ask for records. Ask how long it's been settled. Look for signs of earth movement nearby. And if something in you feels unsure, listen. Unsettled land often whispers its truth long before it makes a sound. Choose a place where the ground has found its breath again, where the past has been honored, not buried. Because the home you build deserves to stand on land that's not just flat, but truly steady. Sign 4, water that soothes or slices like a blade. Water by nature is gentle. It nourishes. It moves around obstacles. It finds a way. That's why we often associate it with peace, streams that whisper, lakes that reflect the sky, rainfall that puts us to sleep. But not all water is peaceful. And when it comes to land, the presence of water can either be a quiet blessing or a force that disrupts everything you hope to build. Some people fall in love with land just because it sits near water, a view of the creek, the sound of running flow nearby. It feels calming, even healing, and it can be. But like all things in nature, water must move in the right way. The wrong flow, the wrong direction, the wrong speed, and what once looked like serenity becomes something else entirely. The biggest mistake isn't living near water. It's not understanding what kind of water it is. Water that flows too fast toward your home doesn't bring peace. It brings pressure. It cuts through land like a blade. When a stream or drainage line runs straight and fast toward a building site, it doesn't just threaten erosion or flooding. It pushes energy too quickly, never allowing it to settle. Imagine trying to relax in a room where the air never stills, where something always feels like it's rushing past you. That's what sharp water movement does. It doesn't stay long enough to nourish, it sweeps. There's even a name for it in traditional wisdom: cutting water. You'll recognize it not just by speed, but by sound. If the water is loud, if it echoes, roars, or churns, it's not bringing calm, it's breaking rhythm. People who live near water like that often find themselves restless, trouble sleeping, easily agitated. Sometimes they can't explain why, but the noise never leaves. It hums beneath the surface of their day. And then there's still water, which, depending on context, can be worse. Ponds that don't move, ditches that hold rain, water that lingers in strange corners of the land. At first it seems harmless, but stagnation carries weight, literally and energetically. Still water breeds not only mold and mosquitoes, it becomes a reservoir of stuck energy. The kind that makes a room feel heavy, the kind that lingers in your chest. But not all water is bad. In fact, when it moves right, it can transform everything. Gentle curves, slow flow, a stream that passes by, not toward you, circling your space like an embrace. That's the water that soothes. It doesn't slice, it sings. It doesn't pull, it offers. To find it, you have to stand quietly. You have to listen, not to what's loud, but to what's steady. Is the sound of the water a comfort or a distraction? Does it draw your attention or settle your mind? Do the plants nearby look vibrant, or are they holding on, surviving but not thriving? Because water speaks through signs. Even rain runoff tells a story. Where does it go? Does it soak in, or does it gather and sit? Does it move toward the home or away from it? These questions aren't small, they are essential. Water is movement, and if it moves wrong, it doesn't just affect your home's structure, it shifts your body's rhythm too. Some of the most troubled homes I've visited weren't built poorly. They weren't neglected, but they sat near the wrong water, too much, too loud, or too close. The people living inside spoke of anxiety, of not being able to rest, of relationships that frayed over time. And while not everything can be blamed on the land, you could feel it, the current beneath the calm. If you're considering a lot with water nearby, don't just admire it. Study it, walk alongside it, visit at different times of day, after rain, in drought. Notice if the land softens too much. Notice if there's a smell when the wind shifts. Look at the edges, are they eroding, sharp? Does the bank collapse or does it hold? And remember, what flows feeds, what cuts destroys. Ideally, water should flow in front of your home, not behind it, not directly at it. Think of it like breath. You want it passing through, not crashing in or sitting stale. You want it gentle, not chaotic. So when you're standing on a plot and you hear water pause, don't assume that the sound is soothing just because you like the idea of it. Ask, does this water carry peace or does it carry pressure? Because water is not just a feature, it's a force. And how it moves tells you everything about how your life may move there too. Sign 5, no back support. You'll feel it in your mind and your money. Every chair that truly lets you rest has one thing in common: a solid back. It's not something we think about until we sit in one that doesn't. Then suddenly we notice the tension in our shoulders, the way our spine leans forward unsupported, the feeling that we're not quite settled. Land works the same way, and a home built without support behind it often carries that same subtle discomfort. At first, you can't explain it. Everything looks fine, the view is open, the air flows freely. There's even something exciting about it, a sense of spaciousness. But over time, something feels off. It's not always dramatic, it's quiet, a kind of unrest that lingers. You feel a little more exposed, a little less rooted. You worry more, you question more, and that low hum of instability doesn't just affect your thoughts. It touches everything: your mood, your health, your finances. When land has no natural support at the back, no hill, no tall trees, no higher ground, it lacks what's often called backing. And while it might sound like a minor detail, the effect is profound. Imagine sleeping in a bedroom where the head of the bed floats in the middle of the room with nothing behind it. No wall, no anchor. It would feel strange, vulnerable even. The same thing happens when your house is built on land that doesn't hold it from behind. The wind cuts harder. The energy feels less contained. Visitors come and go, but nothing seems to settle. Income flows in but doesn't stay. Ideas spark but don't grow roots. In practical terms, land with no back support often faces unpredictable weather exposure. The wind doesn't bend, it hits. The home becomes more sensitive to external forces, from literal storms to symbolic ones. It might also lack privacy. With no natural or built buffer behind, everything feels on display. Even if you don't realize it, your nervous system does. It stays alert longer than it should. But there's more. Backing isn't just about protection, it's about emotional security. It gives a home a sense of belonging, of being held. When the land behind you rises, even gently, it sends a signal. You're safe here. People who live in homes with proper backing often feel more confident, more at ease. Their decisions come easier. Their plans stick longer. It's not magic, it's psychology shaped by space. On the flip side, homes with retreating backs often tell a different story. The owners might describe feeling unsupported in life, like they are always the ones giving, rarely receiving. Financially, they may start strong, then hit inexplicable slowdowns. Emotionally, they might feel a bit off-center. And while none of these challenges are caused solely by the land, the pattern is worth paying attention to. The solution isn't always to walk away from land with an open back. Sometimes it's about awareness and balance. If you love the location but feel the exposure, ask what can be added. Can you plant tall trees behind the home? Can you build a wall or a trellis, something that gives weight and shape to the rear? Even a simple row of evergreens can shift the entire feel of a space. Because it's not about blocking the world. It's about knowing you're not facing it all alone. One of the most powerful things you can do when visiting a plot of land is to stand at its center, close your eyes, and ask yourself, do I feel held? Do I feel watched? Or do I feel seen but not supported? Our bodies speak truth before our words do. If the space behind you feels too open, too unguarded, it probably is. In many cultures, there's a deep understanding of this principle. They build homes facing open views, but always with a mountain, a hill, or at least a row of trees behind. Something steady, something quiet, something that doesn't need to speak to be felt. In modern life, we often trade that for wider windows or better sun angles. But what we gain in aesthetics, we sometimes lose in grounding. So when you choose land, remember, it's not just about what's in front. It's also about what's behind, not just the view, but the support. Because in a world that already demands so much from you, your home should be the one place where you don't feel the need to look over your shoulder. A home without backing is like a thought without follow-through. A dream without a plan. It might move fast, but it rarely lands deep. Choose a place that holds you, even in silence, especially in silence. Sign 6, too much yin or too much yang, and your body will tell you first. Before your mind notices, your body already knows. It knows when a space is off, even if everything looks right. You walk into a home and your shoulders tense, or maybe it's the opposite. You feel too still, too heavy, like something is pulling at you. Nothing's broken, nothing's loud, but something inside you can't rest. And often what you're feeling is imbalance, not of decoration or style, but of energy. The subtle forces that shape how a place holds you or doesn't. Some land is too quiet, too withdrawn. It might sit near a cemetery, a dense forest, or an isolated field that doesn't move with the day. These places carry deep stillness, but too much stillness becomes stagnation. A heaviness settles, air feels dense. Mornings take longer to start. Emotions settle in corners and don't move. This is excess yin. It can show up as fatigue, mood swings, a sense of being stuck. People living on such land may find it hard to motivate. Projects drag. Sleep is deep but not refreshing. Conversations feel flat. And the worst part is, you often don't realize the effect until months have passed and something in you feels dimmed. Other land is the opposite. Too much brightness, noise, motion. Homes built next to busy intersections, power lines, factories, or places with constant foot traffic may carry excess yang. This energy is loud, restless, sharp. It pushes. At first it feels exciting, like living in the middle of everything, but it wears on you. Sleep becomes light, focus slips. Your nervous system stays alert even when there's no reason. Children in these spaces often have trouble calming down. Adults report headaches, anxiety, irritability. The house becomes more of a station than a sanctuary. We all carry both yin and yang inside us, quiet and activity, rest and movement. But when the land tips too far in one direction, our inner balance is pulled with it. And the most sensitive among us, children, the elderly, even pets, feel it first. A dog that won't stay in one room. A child who never wants to be in their own bed. A partner who starts sleeping in later, feeling off but can't explain why. These aren't coincidences, they are signals. The beauty of balance isn't in perfection, it's in harmony. Land that carries both light and shade, movement and stillness. A place where the sun reaches the floor in the morning, but trees offer softness by afternoon. Where there's some sound, but not chaos, some privacy, but not isolation. These are the places where energy breathes, where you wake up ready and sleep without effort. When walking a property, don't just look, listen. Not to the sounds alone, but to what your body says. Does the silence feel peaceful or unsettling? Does the buzz of the street lift you or wear you down? Stand still. Can you take a full breath, or does your chest tighten? Do you feel grounded or like you're floating without direction? It's easy to get distracted by aesthetics, how big the house is, how new the kitchen feels, how pretty the yard looks on a sunny day. But beauty without balance doesn't last. A home without harmony becomes something you're constantly adjusting. You buy thicker curtains to block the noise. You plant more trees to hide the view. You rearrange furniture, hoping it will help. But the truth is, it's not the furniture. It's the foundation. It's the feeling. And yes, balance can be created, but it has to start with awareness. If you're drawn to a place but it feels too quiet, consider adding warmth, lights, color, human presence. If the energy feels too sharp, too active, soften it. Trees, textures, sound buffers. Let the house breathe in both directions. What matters most is this: your body will tell you long before the stress shows up in your life. You'll feel a tightness you didn't have before, a shift in mood, a weariness that doesn't match your schedule. Don't dismiss these signs. They are your earliest wisdom. So when choosing land or walking through a home, pause. Don't just ask, is this pretty? Ask, is this balanced? Are the loud places softened? Are the quiet spaces alive? Is this a home that breathes with me or against me? Because in the end, harmony isn't something you build into a house. It's something the land either offers or doesn't, and your body knows the difference. You just have to trust it. Final, choosing land isn't just a decision about where to build. It's a decision about what will hold you every single day. Over the past few minutes, we've walked through 6 signs, 6 quiet truths that often go unnoticed in the excitement of a purchase. But these aren't just technical details. They are reflections of how space shapes spirit, how energy either grounds you or drains you. A beautiful lot in the sun can still sink in the rain. A road that looks convenient may pull your fortune downward. Land that seems flat may carry unsettled memories beneath. Water can calm or cut. An open back can leave you unanchored. An imbalance, whether too still or too loud, doesn't just affect your walls. It touches your sleep, your focus, your peace. These aren't just theories. They're patterns, felt by thousands, lived by many. And the truth is, your body always knows. Before the roof goes up, before the paint dries, before the furniture arrives, your body already knows whether this land is yours. And if something here today made you pause, reflect, or reconsider, trust that. That moment of awareness may save you years of discomfort. Because land, like people, speaks. It whispers, and it remembers. Thank you for walking this journey with me. For listening, not just with your mind, but with your heart. If you've made it to the end, I know you care deeply about choosing a space that doesn't just house you, but heals you. So wherever you are, searching, dreaming, or deciding, I wish you this. May you find a piece of land that feels like an exhale. That holds you when you're tired. That lifts you quietly without asking anything in return. Because when the land is right, everything else finds its rhythm. Take care, and thank you for being here.